through the eyes of a traveler.
Hello world, and we're back for another adventure. Still in Kashmir, but this time to the final frontier, a small little village called Taobat. Before I continue, can I just place a request? And that is, please do like the video, if you like it that is. Please do subscribe and do drop me a comment, because your comments, your subscription, your encouragement helps me a great deal, supports me a great deal. Big smiles from me and the people I pass through this very long road known as the Road of Neelam. It takes me all the way to Talbot, and I will show you the village, as really that's the main place to go when you're ending your journey in the Valley of Neelam. The final village, very quaint, very quiet, very peaceful. So, without further ado, let's get back to the road and eventually the village. Isn't it nice to see other inhabitants of this area? So I was speaking to the shepherds. They tell me that they move on to warmer pastures when this valley gets too cold.
Sometimes there's a beauty that you see in a riverbed that you don't see anywhere else. Let's just share this beauty. I wish I could stay here for longer, but itineraries have been set. Schedules have to be followed, otherwise we get lost. Wilderness galore. Sadly, because of issues between two governments here, you cannot stay for too long because there's shell firing from both sides. It's I've been told India instigates and then Pakistan responds, but that could be just an argument placed forward by the Pakistani side. But looking at the people that live here and the people that live across on the other border, they are not the fighting sort. So it is definitely a government policy rather than the local people here, who I've been told previously visited each other because they speak the same language, have the same culture, and in fact many moons back they had blood relations. They would marry either side. So anyway, time to move on. Taobat. That's the name of this village. Last village on the Azad Kashmir side. The mountains above, well, the ridge in front of us, not the very first ridge, but the second one, that is under Indian control. So we will pass, hopefully not be fired at. And I say that with real hope, because only 4 or 5 days ago there was shell firing from that side to this side. Above, on the hills, there's checkposts with And this is a young man trying to exercise. Like me, he probably needs it. I only joke because I know him. So, everything is made out of wood because this is the resource they have in abundance. All wood cabins, reminiscent of log cabins of days gone by in the Americas and possibly even parts of Europe. Right, catch you in a little while. Walking alongside a river gives me great pleasure, so I thought I'd share it with you. And the whole journey literally is alongside a river. Sometimes you're extremely high up in the mountains and you can see the river down below, and it's a scary journey because roads here are not tarmac roads or concrete roads, but sometimes just dirt tracks, and if it rains then that dirt is slippery or it's landslide prone. So yeah, right now we do have a concrete path, and we're very low to ground, so all good. Sorry for the heavy breathing, everyone. I just ran up a hill just to make room for breakfast. There's a placard here. Difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. No doubt, great truth in this. I'll walk here. This is something that's preventing me from passing. But we can see what we can see from here, I'm sure. Let me just come under. I need to make sure my footing is right. Could be I'm one of those people who finds wilderness extremely attractive. I like being alone with nature, and when you're alone with nature you really do measure yourself. Nature can be very unforgiving and can be very forgiving. But before it forgives you, it does test you. And sometimes we need those tests just to see how well we fare. Right here.
Unfortunately, my stay here was just for the one night. I should have stayed longer, but with a tight timetable, trying to cover 6,000 kilometers in 5 weeks, or just under, time wasn't on my side. Anyway, last night was cold, and in the evening, before heading to bed, I had chatted with the young fellow who owned the hostel. We got on quite well. He introduced me to his friends, and then we had a big gathering in front of the fire in the kitchen. That's the only heating they had there. And he then propositioned me. He said he would be honored if I would join him to another village, and that they would go by jeep, and he would offer me the front seat, and he would like for me to meet some family that live in that village. So what could I do but agree? And I'll share that little trip with you also.
So, there's an enjoyment that one gets when you ride a motorcycle, and I've savoured the enjoyment of being chauffeur driven in a vehicle, and that also has great pleasure because you're not concentrating on the road, not concentrating on every pothole, every sand infested road where your wheels can slip, and braking is much harder. Controlling the bike is so much more of an arduous task. And now I've sort of experienced jeep riding, which I had in the past when I was in a younger man's body and I had my own jeep. But it's nice to be driven around by somebody else where you can just concentrate on the scenery.
On the way back, there was a slight landslide. We had to wait a little while. I didn't have to wait as long as everyone else because they cleared enough of a path for a motorcycle to get through. Nevertheless, half an hour was invested in watching this crane clear the way. Quite impressive, I thought. Sorry for the music, but it kind of encompasses how I felt after this trip. I was full of glee and happiness. It's a wonderful place. It's adventurous. It's thought-provoking. And I think it'll stay embedded in my memory for a very long time to come. The roads, the trails, the tracks, for a motorbike at least, are fantastic. It makes you wonder why others haven't found this. Maybe this is a hidden gem and I shouldn't share it, but then that would be unfair. I think those that come to Pakistan and visit Kashmir should definitely come to the Valley Neelum and find all the bypasses that offer this miraculous, magical, sensational route which leaves such a lasting impression that I think the only thing that I can do is to come back here again, and that has to be very, very soon. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time. And I do hope that you subscribe if you haven't already done so. You like, please leave a comment. Comments are like air to me. I love reading your comments, and I promise every comment left, I will respond to. That's a promise. Anyway, it's time to go. I'll leave you with the scene that I just sat on my bike enjoying. I hope you do too. Take care. Oh, and don't forget, drive, ride, travel safely. Bye for now.